I don't know. I think it seems, especially with the abundance of megalomaniacs having access to us every day, it's seeming like more and more that you get more productivity out of being humble, out of challenging yourself by saying, I'm not the best right now, but I'm trying to be the best. When I said, who am I, the greatest thing alive, I was kind of, putting that on other people because I think that's how everybody feels about themselves, according to what they put out there. I think a lot of the college students, not even necessarily, we ain't gonna just put it all on the college students, but of course it goes on campuses and stuff. And one of the biggest social media websites started at a college, so it is relevant. I think that people is going more towards the Ghost in the Shell way, where people having two selves. I think scientists are gonna have to rewrite this in a while because you got your real life self and your internet self. I think that everybody needs to make sure that they either they need to balance the amount of energy they put towards their internet self and their real self. Your internet self is definitely a thing. We can't ignore that because even before social media, your internet self was your resume, from monster.com or wherever you went to make it. But you need to put more focus on as much focus on your internet self as you put on your real self, or even put more focus on your real self, because the internet is just not real, and we keep thinking that it's so real. It's just like this shock that we got in this election. Like, most of the country is people who live in Montana and Iowa, those types of people. That's most of the country. But we live in these big cities and we want to think that we got it all figured out and we can always run everything because we not the majority. The internet world is different. Like, if you take a loss on the street, you get beat up, shot, or robbed. That's different than taking a loss on the internet where you just get embarrassed by a bunch of nerds at work. You know what I'm saying? Who's, typing on Boxed In on their lunch break. I'm torn because it's always a fine line between everything, man. It's a fine line between ambition and complacency. It's a fine line between faking it till you make it and naming it and claiming it. You see what I'm saying? But you have to find your happy medium, and you really know what I'm saying, when it's really something that's gonna help people and it was a humble brag. But I think at its core, maybe it doesn't matter, because I think we want to believe that we're inherently good, but it seems like we kind of not, because I think a lot of people do put out good news, and a lot of people do it selflessly through websites, and it just doesn't get shared. It doesn't get the traction that negative stories get. Right now, the students watching this don't know my name, but if I did something heinous, I would probably turn into a adjective. Don't mess around and get 607. You know what I'm saying? Or turn into a verb or something. So it seems like that's what we like. No matter how you slice it, from the smallest village to the biggest city. So I don't know. It seems like everything is gonna be what it's gonna be. You got to find your place and figure out how you gonna provide and protect your family inside of this thing that's not going to change. You're just going to grow and become a more exponential version of what it already is. All of them definitely meant something, and I always, as a rapper, I always like finding new words to rhyme stuff with, because it makes me feel better. Because a lot of times you have to rap according to your audience, so I can't throw around words like this because they'll be totally lost. Some of these words I will be totally lost, but so the simpler words actually stuck out, like the bouillon or boubon cubes, whatever. That's what stood out to me, because I was trying to understand. Like, I was like, if I was in school, I'd be like looking at my teacher like, come on, man, when am I gonna ever say this again? When I make a dressing, turkey, stew. The bouillon wasn't necessarily comic relief. I mean, it was supposed to be, but when you write a song, if you are a serious songwriter, what you have to do is reverse engineer a learning process, basically. So you I want people to learn my song. So if you take a song and you say, I want people to know that X plus Y equals Z. So you don't just say X plus Y equals Z and rhyme it the whole time. You start off with, so if you got song format, you start off with a chant at the beginning and maybe a chant at the end. So then after the chant, you establish the hook. The hook is what they're going to probably learn first. So then after they learn the hook, what you have to do is, if you got a 16-bar verse, the 15th and the 16th bar, you take the drums out, or you take the whole beat out. because they're going to learn that part, because they're going to know when that part is coming, then here comes the hook that I've been waiting to sing with you. So they learn that part, then they learn the hook, then they might learn a couple of bars before that. And then that's where the actual information will be. So I started off with the Bouillon Cube. That was like a joke, because that's how you identify a song. A song is only as good as the conversation is long about it that you can have and pass on and have people easily identify. Because people when they talk to people, they want the conversation to flow. Hey, did you hear that song about this? And if they have to keep describing the song, then they're going to just go on and start talking about something else. Hey, did you hear the song that he was singing at the end about Bouillon Cube or something? Like, oh, okay. So then from there, so I got you in there. Now I might get you to the chant. I might get you to the hook, and I might get you to actually learn that X plus Y equals Z. Hopefully, if you make it that long, if the beat is that good. So the whole time I'm writing these songs, these vocabulary words, I'm trying to leave context clues. So if you don't necessarily want to go to the dictionary the first time you hear that word, you don't have to. You can kind of figure out what it means. But then, but you still building a memory around it. So then if you do decide, I want to know what that words mean, or I want to learn how to spell polemic or whatever. So you go look it up, and now I got it. I got you. You learning, but you don't know you learning. So that's what I tried to do. I don't know if I successfully established that, but that's what I was doing with the stories and with the relatable situations. The whole thing, it sounds just like some rapper just rattling off and putting words in here and there, but I tried to reverse engineer a learning process so these words will actually stick, somewhere.